We're going to head back to Atlanta now, and I feel pretty youthful. My colleagues are as well, but we're going to get a young perspective on all of this. We're joined by journalist Wyatt Sharpe now. Wyatt, good to see you. You got accreditation. You were down there covering this, and you've been talking to Americans, particularly with young voters. What are you hearing from them ahead of this debate?
Yeah, certainly, Travis, at least the majority of the polls are suggesting right now that the vast majority of Americans don't really want either President Trump or President Biden to be the nominee. And yet, of course, here we are still. I mean, a lot of Americans are looking for an alternative. They're looking for kind of a new generation of leadership, so to speak. And so they feel as if President Trump and President Biden perhaps are not the best person to advocate for that. And so I think a lot of young people in particular are going to be tuning into the debate tonight. I was speaking to some young people here on the ground. There's a progressive political commentator I was speaking to just a moment ago. He's very young. He has about 500,000 YouTube subscribers. He was saying even though he himself is a progressive, he still doesn't feel as if President Biden is able to capture the youth vote just based off of some of his cognitive issues as of recently. And so whoever's able to kind of fulfill their end of the bargain tonight more successfully will kind of, I guess, be deemed the winner of the debate.
So what are some of the big questions that you have and other young people about Joe Biden and Donald Trump right now?
I think it's really not too different from the issues that, other demographics are facing, except for the sense of young people in particular are seeing it impact, whether it be their parents, their grandparents, other people within their family. In the United States, I was talking to someone recently who was expressing concern over the affordability crisis, even coming back and forth to the debate venue. Our Uber drivers were very young people and people who, it's their second time voting. And they're expressing concern, frankly, that the two people that are running for president don't really have any experience themselves with having to struggle with something like affordability, as a large portion of Americans are. The people here in Atlanta, at least, were bringing that up quite a bit over the course of the past few days since we've been here. And so I guess young people kind of just looking for some answers to some of these questions.
It's no secret these two candidates are quite old. They're senior citizens. How do you think they can reach and really connect with young voters?
Well, we're seeing some of it in terms of TikTok, for example. Both Joe Biden, his campaign team, has created a TikTok account. Former President Trump has created a TikTok account as well. I'm not necessarily saying that is kind of the only way to approach this, but certainly young people are on TikTok more than any other demographic, to put it frankly. And so, reaching out via that way, as opposed to perhaps more, traditional forms of communication, of campaign advertising and what have you, is one way to kind of draw in voters and actually speaking to them on the issues that are important, while still also realizing that you don't necessarily need to treat them all that differently from other demographics of the population and other segments of the population who, again, are being impacted just as much by some of these issues.
I know, I got to let you go here quick, but I know why you're engaged. You're interested in politics. You're a poli-sci student. You're interested in journalism as well. But why should other young Canadians care about not only the outcome of this debate, but the outcome of the American election?
I think in particular, if we're looking at Canada, like, for example, over the course of the Trump administration, whether it be tariffs, whatever happens in the U.S., it seems to have kind of a trickle-down effect to impact Canadian politics. That's been a question I've been getting here. Why is a Canadian correspondent interested in this debate? And I think that kind of speaks as to why we're here and why so many different Canadian networks are here as well, including CBC.
Wyatt Sharpe in Atlanta for us. Thanks, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
Thank you.